Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties arrives on Switch 2, and today, Sega and RGG Studio, they sponsored this video asking me to tell you all about it. And if you do watch this channel, you're going to know already. Massive fan of the series, was begging for years for it to come to Switch. So this last 12 months, multiple titles, it's been a winner. Alright, look, subscribe if you enjoy this, and let's get into it. So first of all, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties is not only the next entry in the series, but it actually packs in a brand new game, Dark Ties. 2 games in one, we're going to get to that. For those though that may be thinking, but I haven't played the others, well, let me explain series history on Switch. So prefacing this game, obviously, we have Kiwami 1 and 2. Additionally, however, there was Yakuza 0, a prequel, and that originally released some years later. All honestly incredible. But if you're thinking, I just want to jump in on the new one, or maybe it's been a few years even since you've played 1 and 2, Yakuza Kiwami 3, it features recaps for the first 2 games. These are accessed within the experience itself, actually in the world, in the opening moments. It's a really nice touch, and even though I played them recently, personally, still gave them a watch. But anyways, let's talk gameplay on this. It's the Yakuza experience you know and love. Small, sandbox, open worlds with which you unravel Kiryu's latest antics. And in this case, he's actually left Kamurocho. That happens in the opening moments. And we catch up with him 6 months later. Oh yeah, he's moved to Okinawa. He's opened an orphanage. Of course, though, this relaxed lifestyle, it looks good, but trouble finds him. And it's not too long before, yeah, expect all-out war. Compared to the original release, narrative changes, they've been tweaked. And the intro moves at a quicker pace now. But it's still very much that story you know and love. And that leads me to combat, and here the ability to change styles, it returns. But here now Kiryu has 2 options. We've got the traditional dragon style, which is awesome as ever, but then perhaps a new personal favourite. We've got a style that is basically, it's all about weapons. So yeah, every attack type unleashes one of 8 different weapons, and it is just insanely over the top. It's just really nice and bloody, honestly, blood flowing just all over the shop. And then on top of that, you've got heat actions, your special cinematic moves. You know, you max out your gauge at the top of the screen and you'll hit a dragon boost. This powers Kiryu up to superhuman strength. And from there, you can even land a dragon finisher. This is basically a devastating ultimate that, oh yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like, honestly. You absolutely pummel someone. And yeah, look, Yakuza as a series, it's always done a great job of balancing the serious with the ridiculous, and I think that's very much the case here with this new style. You know, one moment you're defending, let's say, a friend or someone in the streets from an attacker, the next, you're pulling out this army of weapons from an Hawaiian shirt. And that's also contrasted in Morning Glory, the orphanage. You know, between all of the chaos, you're also going to be cooking, tending a garden, helping kids with homework, fishing, bug catching. Yeah, it's all such a good contrast, and honestly, it's the kind of thing that only Yakuza pulls off without it just feeling weird. Even all these years later, though, I think that's what I love about Yakuza. Not only do they always manage to surprise, but even having experience with the series, the amount of content they pack in is just, it's so impressive. You know, of course, you've got that core narrative, but even at just a couple of hours in, there's the mobile app where you can swap details with others that are just roaming the streets. You can decorate that phone, and yeah, been doing more of that than I expected, buying up all sorts of accessories. There's the side activities and side missions. You know, all of the fan favourites return. Arcades, karaoke, batting cages, golf, darts, pool, gambling, just all the usual pastimes. But my 2 favourite additions here, one's got to be Bad Boy Dragon. This is basically a mode where you join a girls' biker gang, you're defending Okinawa with them. And yeah, it's basically about fighting this rival gang. So what you do is basically recruit new members, go to war. But the big one, and it's kind of weird saying that, but the Game Gear. So here you can collect and play 12 classic games, and they even actually feature a rewind function. They've kind of gone all out here. But most importantly, you can save your progress in them. I thought this was going to be this throwaway option just for maybe 15 minutes here and there. But no, I've actually been saving my progress. I'm currently working through Sonic. That though is Kiwami 3. Now let's talk about Dark Ties. This is the second game that's included here. But word of warning, Don't play this before Kiwami 3, it contains spoilers. But basically what it's doing is it's following a fan favorite Mine, and it's all about his descent into this criminal underworld. And the game actually warns you of that as well on opening. You know, it says if you don't want it spoiled, don't start here. But what I enjoyed with this one, and I don't want to give too much away, but the story, it's darker, it's really interesting. You know, Kiryu's tale has always been a story of almost redemption, of having a good heart, even in some bad actions. But in Dark Ties, the motivations, they're not quite as clear. It's very much a descent of a character instead. That darker edge, it even carries over to the visuals too, you know, darker scenes, deeper shadows. It just feels unlike anything that's come from Yakuza before. The winner though here, at least when I wasn't once again distracted by the Game Gear, it's Mine's fighting style. It's shoot boxing based option, and yeah, he's going to be sipping just all over the place, dashing through the air, exploiting openings, chaining combos. It starts strong and it gets wild. It's almost like superhero level. And when you activate Dark Awakening, your super mode, let's call it, the 3 hearts at the top of the screen, yeah, not only are you just like OP in this, but it's accompanied by this metal soundtrack, and it is incredible. You're going to be just like dragging opponents' faces along the ground, and it just works so well. They've really nailed that kind of unstoppable power vibe. And aside from this new combat style, Dark Ties also, of course, has its own stack of content. There's damage control, where basically you're tasked with managing your Yakuza clan boss's reputation. It's so he can climb through the ranks. There's side quests, there's challenges. Yeah, loads going on. There's even House Arena. This is an underground fight club where VIP investors, they place massive bets on these one-on-one brawls, and yeah, your job, you know, survive. And much like Yakuza Kiwami 3, it's not just about the central deep narrative. As per usual, when I find myself in these worlds, just there's so much to get distracted by. Side quests, activities, mini games. My new favorite thing apparently is decorating a mobile phone. I don't know, there's just so much going on as per usual. And in the 4-ish hour runtime for this new entry, this new game, yeah, tons still for me personally to go back for. So yeah, that's Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. Whether this is your first step into the world or maybe you're returning for the continuation, there's a lot to like here. Stories, of course, as strong as ever. The combat, once again, it's evolved. And the content, yeah, it just doesn't stop. Kiwami 1, 2 and Yakuza 0, all available on Switch 2 right now if you do want to experience the full journey. But this series, personal favourite, you could happily jump in here. Again, there's recaps right at the beginning, so you can absolutely catch up. And yeah, check it out in the description, in the pinned comment. It'll take you straight to the Switch eShop page. But if you are thinking maybe you'll play it elsewhere, it's on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC too. Alright, once again, thanks to Sega and RGG for sponsoring the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers all.